All right, thank God for fantasy football season. I'm Buster Brown, and the show, it's called Redemption Rehab. And if you tuned in today, it's because you want to do one thing, and that's start winning money in fantasy football. Today, we're talking about my top picks in daily fantasy football that'll help you get the job done. So let's head over to the chalkboard
and check out the facts.
All right, yeah, here we are back on our website, fantasyfootballredemptionrehab.com. If you get a chance, check it out. Anyways, today we're talking about daily fantasy football for week 11 of the NFL season. Hopefully, things have gone well for you. Today, we're going to be talking about position players like quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, and defenses, and how to get them into your lineup on FanDuel so you can win some cash. We're going to check out websites like rtsports.com, who are going to rank the players, and then we're going to go over to FanDuel and see how we can get those ranked players into our lineups so we can take home some money. So buckle up, get out your popcorn, and let's head over to RT Sports
and check out the facts.
Okay, here we are on RT Sports checking out the rankings for position players. Let's start out with quarterbacks. You gotta love Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Drew Brees. They're their top three quarterbacks. We're going to show you how to get them in your lineup on FanDuel. My sleeper quarterback this week is Tom Brady and Jimmy Garoppolo. While we're on RT Sports, let's check out the running backs. Gotta love Christian McCaffrey. I mean, he's very expensive because he's probably going to win the league MVP, and he should. But we can't afford him. I mean, if you can get him in your lineup, great. But you're going to have some sleepers. We're going to give you some sleepers today, too, by the way. Running backs we're going to concentrate on today are Ezekiel Elliott. He's got a great matchup. Josh Jacobs, another great matchup. And Melvin Gordon. We do have a sleeper for you. We gave you Christian Kirk last week as a sleeper, scored 32 points. Let me show you who's going to get you some points this week as a starter for Devontae Freeman. And he's down here. He's at 22. His name? Brian Hill. He's going to rock Carolina this week, and we need to get him in our lineup. Let's check out some top wide receivers while we're on RT Sports and see who we like there. RT Sports has Michael Thomas as their number one receiver. Me too. I love him. I think he's going to have a big game against the weak secondary of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Then I'm going to try to get Julian Edelman in my lineup also. Why? Weak secondary against Philadelphia. He should have a big game. Here's some other wide receivers we should be concentrating on this week, like Tyreek Hill, Chris Godwin. Why do I like him? Last time he played against New Orleans, 7 catches, like 125 yards and a touchdown. He's going to have another big day because he's not going up against New Orleans cornerback Marshawn Lattimore out of Ohio State. Mike Evans, get that honor. Not going to be a good day for Mike Evans, take my word. Other people we like, how could you not like DJ Moore? He's getting like 10 targets a week out of the backup quarterback to Cam Newton. Kyle Allen, who's throwing the ball all over the place. So we're going to get him in our lineup. We also like DJ Chark, so we're going to try to get him some lineups too. So let's head over and check out some of the tight ends on RT Sports and see where they're ranked. Okay, here we are back on RT Sports looking at tight ends. You gotta love Travis Kelce, right? Why not? He's going up on Monday night. I think it's in Mexico. And he's gonna have a big night against the tough San Diego's defense against tight ends. We also love George Kittle. If George Kittle plays, you gotta put him in your lineup. He's gonna have a big day. But guess what? He's banged up. I don't know if he's gonna play. I'm not taking the chance unless you can swap him out prior to the game start. I also love Hunter Henry. That's another Monday night game in Mexico. He's going to have a big game. So we're going to try to get Hunter Henry in our lineup. Mark Andrews, tough matchup against Houston. I'm just telling you, Houston can take out tight ends. It's supposed to score 52 points in that game. I don't know. Mark Andrews, I like him, but he scored 2 touchdowns last week, but it might be tougher this week. And the last tight end I want to mention is Darren Waller. Oh, he could have a big game against Cincinnati. If you could get him in your lineup, you ought to do it. Let's check out some defenses that you might want to have in your lineup this week. Here's some defenses you might want to consider. At the top of their list is Buffalo and New England. Man, they're going to be expensive on FanDuel, but let me give you one that's a little bit cheaper that's going to kick butt, and it's the Minnesota Vikings. They're playing the Denver Broncos against a weak offensive line and a backup quarterback. Oh man, I wouldn't want to be Denver this week because I could tell you what, Minnesota's got a front seven that's gonna licking their chops, and they're gonna kick their ass on Sunday. So what you need to do is get Minnesota in your lineups this week. I'll tell you what, let's head over and let's go to FanDuel and see how we can get all these players I just mentioned into your lineup so you can take home
The cash.
Okay, here we are back on FanDuel. Let's check out who the number one quarterback on rtsports.com says you should have in your lineup, and a lineup that might help you win some money in week 11, like taking Lamar Jackson. He's their number one quarterback for a good reason. He scored a lot of points last week, but it was against a weak Cincinnati team. This week, he's playing against a better team in Houston, but let me give you a lineup that might work for Lamar Jackson. Josh Jacobs, top 10 on RT Sports. Melvin Gordon, top 10 on RT Sports. Julian Edelman, top 10 on RT Sports. DJ Moore didn't make the top 10, but he's number 11 on RT Sports. Chris Godwin, top 10. Luke Stalker, I know. Who the hell is Luke Stalker? Look, he's not a very good player. Luke Stalker's replacing Austin Hooper, who's out for a month. This is his backup. He's not a very good tight end. He's more of a blocking tight end. But you know what? With this lineup, we're not expecting a lot of points out of him. If he gets us a touchdown, could put us in line for big money. So Luke Stalker's going to be in every one of my lineups this week. Why? He's a starting tight end for the Atlanta Falcons, and the Falcons like to throw the ball to the tight end because Austin Hooper is out for a month. Let me show you some other people that I like on this lineup, like Brian Hill of the Atlanta Falcons. He's on the same team as Luke Stalker. You may think that, who the hell's Brian Hill? Look, Devontae Freeman's out for who knows how long. We told you on our waiver wire report on our website, which you can always go check out. We told you 3 weeks ago when Ito Smith went out, this was the guy to pick up, and guess what? He's a starting running back for the Atlanta Falcons against the Carolina defense that can't stop the run. So we're going to have Brian Hill as our flex player all week. Last week we gave you Kareem Hunt, and he got you big points, helped you win some money. This week it's Brian Hill. And the defense we told you we have to have is the Minnesota Vikings. They're just going to crush the Denver Broncos. Normally, we like to try to stack our quarterbacks with another wide receiver or a tight end on the same team. You can still do that in this lineup by taking out Brian Hill right here and putting in Marquise Brown. Just that simple. I'm comfortable with both players. Marquise Brown, Brian Hill, either one could help you win some money in week 11. Let's take a look at another lineup on FanDuel with the number 2 quarterback that rtsports.com recommends. Okay, here we are in a lineup that has Patrick Mahomes as our quarterback on FanDuel. He's the number 2 quarterback on RT Sports. Look at the lineup we put together with him. We have a top 10 quarterback, a top 10 running back in Melvin Gordon, a top 10 running back in Ezekiel Elliott. We got DJ Moore on RT Sports. He was top 11. Tyreek Hill, top 10. DJ Chark also was top 12, 13 on RT Sports. Travis Kelce, top 3 tight end. You were stacking him and Tyreek Hill with Patrick Mahomes on Monday Night Football. That's a good bet. Over-under on that game is 52 points. Let's go Chiefs if you do this lineup. We've got our sleeper pick, Luke Stalker, starting tight end for the Atlanta Falcons. make sure he's playing on Sunday because he did have an injury. It has kept him out, but he's supposed to play on Sunday as the starting tight end for the Atlanta Falcons. And we have to have the Minnesota Vikings on every team if we can afford them. Let's go check out a lineup with our number 3 quarterback, Drew Brees. Okay, here we are back on FanDuel with Drew Brees as our starting quarterback for Week 11. We stacked him with Michael Thomas, but the problem is Michael Thomas is even more money than Drew Brees, so it's going to be tough to get people in our lineup. We got those two guys stacked. We had to cut our running back Ezekiel Elliott down to another guy we love, Josh Jacobs, to make this lineup work. Of course, we paired him with Melvin Gordon going up against the 32nd ranked opponent against the run. This could be a breakout game for Melvin Gordon. That's why we have him in there. And let's check out the other wide receivers. Of course, DJ Moore, who's going to have a big game against a weak Atlanta secondary. We had to throw in our sleeper tight end, Luke Stalker, who's starting for the Atlanta Falcons. We got our sleeper running back, Brian Hill, who's the new running back for the Atlanta Falcons. But here's where this is where our lineup's killing us because Drew Brees is expensive. Michael Thomas is expensive. We can't get Minnesota in. But I tell you what, Kansas City could be a sleeper. Why? Because they got a good pass rush. San Diego's offensive line's not very good. And guess what? The quarterback for the Chargers, Phillip Rivers, he's no spring chicken, and he could go down often. We're hoping that we get an interception, maybe some sacks, fumble recovery. Hopefully, Kansas City's special teams can get us a touchdown. Let me show you my sleeper quarterback, Tom Brady, and a lineup that'll help you in Week 11. Okay, here we are back on FanDuel, and we want to show you what we can do with Tom Brady and Jimmy Garoppolo in our lineups. We're going to stack them with players on their team. Here's the Tom Brady lineup. Very simple. We're going to stack Tom Brady with Julian Edelman. We're going to put in 2 of our top 3 running backs, Melvin Gordon and Ezekiel Elliott. Remember, you can always put in Josh Jacobs if you want to. He's a lot cheaper, Ezekiel Elliott. I love Deebo Samuels. We've been telling you about him all year on Fantasy Football Redemption Rehab. All you got to do is go back and look at our website and you can see Deebo Samuel is someone we've been mentioning to pick up on the waiver wire all year. He had a huge game last week. This week, he's playing against the terrible secondary of the Arizona Cardinals, and we think he'll have a good game. DJ Moore should have a good game. We've had him in most lineups. We love Travis Kelce on Monday night. Our sleepers, Brian Hill. Of course, we love Minnesota Vikings defense, and we've been telling you about them. But let's see how we can get Jimmy Garoppolo in here. All you got to do is stack him with Deebo Samuels by taking out Tom Brady, putting in Jimmy Garoppolo, and bang, look, you stack Jimmy Garoppolo with Deebo Samuels as opposed to Tom Brady. They both have great matchups. I showed you a ton of matchups that help. You should win some money in Week 11. I'm Buster Brown. The show's Redemption Rehab. Good luck.